What is going on, guys? Thanks for coming back to another video. Today I'm talking about surface conditioning belts, Scotch-Brite belts, whatever you want to call them. Right here, I've got two brand new ones. This one right here is the coarse version, and this one is the medium version. And you can feel this one's definitely pretty rough. And if you haven't used these before, I'm going to kind of try to go into what I use them for. They're awesome, okay? That's what you need to get out of this video. They're super nice. If you haven't used them, you definitely need to pick up a few. I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description of this video on where you can get these at. The normal cost on these is anywhere between $20 to $25. So I've had a lot of people message me and say, man, those things are expensive. What's the point of them? What's this? So that's what I'm going to cover in today's video. Stay tuned. So the main thing that I use these surface condition belts for is after heat treating a knife, you get this finish, okay, on the blade. And obviously you have to clean all this up before you grind your bevels, or I mean, maybe some people do it after. But so what I do, and I don't have a surface grinder attachment for my grinder. I use just the flat platen here to clean up these flats, okay? And so here you can see, this is one of my Trekker H models. I have started to clean up the flats after heat treat, okay? And what I do is I go from normally like an 80 grit up to a 240 on these flats. And that gives you, let's see, this finish. You can kind of see here, it's kind of smudgy a little bit because of my fingers. But it gives you kind of a nice finish just doing that. But when you put that surface conditioning belt on, and I'll show you right now, it really gives it a final clean satin finish that just looks awesome. So for me, I use that surface conditioning belt all the time on the flats of the knives. And even if I'm doing a knife with a full flat grind, the little transition area between your handle and your bevels, I always hit that with that surface conditioning belt as well. So I'm going to strap on a coarse grit surface belt right now. Probably one of these used ones I have. I've got a couple new ones here that I don't quite need to break out yet. They last forever. That's one really nice thing about them. You know, you can get a few months of use if you're using them a lot out of each belt. And yeah, they're expensive, but they really hold up a long time, and they're well worth the money. So I'm going to put this coarse one on, show you how it looks, and then I'm going to bump up to the medium, show you how it looks. And I don't normally go much more than that. I've bought some fine, and I think they even have a super fine version as well. And it gives you a really good finish. I've used them in the past, but I find that going to a medium belt gives you a really nice crispy satin finish. So I'm going to show you guys right now. Okay, so that's all it takes is about a minute, and it gets you this. Let me see. I really want to show it off good, and I'm gonna probably do a couple more passes with that coarse before going to the medium. But you can see it gives you this really nice, clean finish that just looks awesome. And I even do this before stone washing as well. It just gives you, like I said, just a really smooth finish to go off of. So I'm gonna quickly finish up with this coarse, switch to a medium, and then I'll show you guys the final product. All right, so when I use these belts, a lot of times I run the grinder at about 40% power or so. You can crank it up and they really still work good at high speeds as well. But I find they work fine at about 40-50% power. So here is the finish after that medium surface conditioning belt, okay? And you can see those flats are just beautiful now. And, you know, that's about as far as you need to go with it, I think. I've done, like I said, I've used the super fine ones and the fine ones, and it just kind of gets them a little more glossy. But I go with the medium. The other thing that I really like these belts for is like on a chef knife, when you want to round over the spine where your finger rests a little bit, you can really kind of put it up against the platen and kind of go like this with a little bit, and it just smooths it out, rounds it over really nice, and they work good. So I use them, like I said, all the time. I pretty much use them every day. A lot of times for flats, and then I use them for when I do a full flat grind, like on a chef knife or my Scout model, or a lot of my knives are full flat ground. I use them on those bevels, and it just gives them this really clean, crispy look. I'll throw up a picture right now of it. And that's what I like them for. They're super versatile. They last forever. I use the Red Label Abrasives brand ones, and like I said, I think they're around $20 each. I have experience with other brands, and I find that the Red Labels hold up the best, and they're very affordable. I've used, I'm not trying to throw any company under the bus or anything, but I've used the Combat Abrasive ones as well a while ago, and I actually had them fall apart a little bit. Like at the seam, they would come undone. I don't know why. Maybe I just got a couple bad ones. But so go with Red Label Abrasives. They're the best that I've found. And if you guys use these already and have some other uses for them, drop them in the comments below, because I find they're very useful, and I'm sure you guys have used them for other things that work really good as well. But that's what I primarily use them for. What else did I wanted to use them, tell you one other thing, but I don't remember what it was. So anyways, the flats, really clean finishes. You can see the results kind of speak for themselves right there, and how clean that is. No hand sanding. Oh, the one thing I did want to say is, if you are doing bevels, okay, if you're doing, you know, like these Trekker H's, if you've seen them in the past, these do not get full flat ground, okay? They come up and come over. If you're doing bevels like that and you want to use the surface conditioning belt on your bevels, you want to use really light pressure, because what'll happen is, I don't think I have anything right now to show you. I kind of can on this Trekker. This one's already got a stone wash, so it's hard to say. But if you run, like this is finished at 120 grit, no surface conditioning belt on these flats, or on these bevels, okay? If you run a surface conditioning belt on these bevels, sometimes it'll run off the top a little bit, okay? And give you a little bit of, I don't know even what you want to call it, but a little like, little scratches above that bevel that make it look a little bit unclean, and then you sometimes have to go over your flats by hand and clean that little transition up to get them looking good again. Only downside to them, but that's if you do a little too firm a pressure. If you bring them up to like a 240 grit or a 400 and then go over really light pressure with that surface belt on your bevels, whew, sweet, they work great. So anyways, that's today's video. Like I said, I'll try to put a link to these in the description below if I can figure out how to do that. And if you guys have any ideas for future videos for next week, drop them in the comments below. I'll try to cover, if I know anything about it, I'll try to cover it and help out however I can. So like always, thanks for watching, guys. Hope I helped you a little bit, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.